Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you guys the very long awaited and highly requested Louis Vuitton collection, and I have actually been putting this off just because for some reason luxury brand items or luxury brand goods aren't very well received within the YouTube community. As you guys know from my previous videos and my lookbook, you can very much tell that I am Louis Vuitton obsessed. A few people have requested this video in several of my previous videos, and that's why I'm doing it right now. Obviously there's going to be a video about luxury goods, so if that is not your cup of tea, kindly exit out of the video because nobody is making you watch this, honey. I could lie and tell you guys that I've been collecting for years. That's just not true. This is over a 1 year period, so I have to say it is a bit of a splurge in terms of how many bags I've bought in that amount of time. But everything that I will be sharing with you guys have been bought with my own money, so it's my prerogative what I do with my money. These kind of items would never be something that I would ask my parents to buy or, you know, other people to buy for me, just because I wouldn't feel comfortable asking them for, you know, that amount of money for quite materialistic things. So these are luxury brands. It's not something that anyone actually needs, and I am worried that, you know, I do have younger viewers and I don't want to influence you guys to think, you know, you absolutely need this in your life. I know that no matter what I say I'm going to get haters anyways, so I'm just going to continue on with the video. I have to say this is the third time I've filmed this video, so I hope that for my own sanity's sake everything goes fine, because I will not be filming this again. If this goes to shit, you will not be getting a Louis Vuitton collection video. Like at all. Now I guess before I start I want to explain my collection with you guys. I never really intended to have, you know, to start a collection. It just so happened that once you buy one Louis Vuitton bag, apparently you get quite heavily addicted and need to buy another. So a lot of these things are a mix of pre-loved and brand new. I have no problems whatsoever with buying pre-loved items. In some ways I actually enjoy purchasing from the pre-loved market more. It's just fun getting vintage pieces, having a bag that is 30 years old, 20 years old and still in such amazing condition, and then, you know, the amount of savings you get from it. And also when you buy pre-loved bags, I find that because you save that much, when you go to resell it you actually retain either the amount you paid for it in the beginning or a little bit more. They do still maintain their value, it's just you can never really get the same amount that you paid for it brand new. I am just showing you guys my handbag collection at the moment. I just don't think we would have enough time to do my SLGs as well, which is small other goods, which includes wallets, cases, etc. So without further ado, let's get into it. My first bag that I want to show you guys is my Louis Vuitton Speedy Bandouliere 30 in monogram. This was my first Louis Vuitton piece. The Speedy is the first handbag that Louis Vuitton ever made. It is just so iconic. It's been around for nearly 100 years now. The size 30 was the original size. It's just so historical and I love the history behind Louis Vuitton. I purchased this as a reward for myself for completing internship. Like I said, I've always wanted Louis Vuitton bag. I knew that I would eventually get it, and when I had the funds and, you know, I didn't have anything else that I needed to pay for, I went ahead and bought this for myself. I did go in with the mindset of buying the Damier Ebene 30 in the Bandouliere, but as soon as I tried it on, I actually fell in love with the monogram. I've never been a monogram kind of girl. Every time I looked at Louis Vuitton, I've always enjoyed the Damier Ebene print more, but there's just something about the vachetta against the monogram that's just really appeals to me. I guess maybe because it reminds me of the vintage trunks and the Keepalls that I just absolutely fell in love with it. I have to admit that when I first got it I was deathly afraid of actually using it just because of the vachetta trim, and the vachetta is actually raw cowhide leather, so everything else is canvas. This is the only leather pieces on the bag, and when you first get it, it is stark white, and as it ages, as the bag gets older, it does patina, which is basically the aging process of the vachetta getting a lot darker. So when I first got it, I was very scared of using it because if you don't take care and you have oil in your hands or lotion and you go to touch the vachetta, you can actually stain it and you can get uneven patina, which was the last thing that I wanted. So basically I was scared to use it for such a long time, and then decided to invest in loving my bags after reading a lot of articles on the purse forum and watching YouTube videos. It's just a protective layer. Can't comment on the long-term effects of using those products, but certainly for me it made it worthwhile because it actually just gave me the courage to use my bag. And the last thing you want is buy a luxury bag that just sits on your shelf. I was so happy when I first got this, and I could not even explain to you how excited I was and how much I was just in love with this bag. And yeah, this is my little baby and the little bag that started the whole addiction for me. So this is the Louis Vuitton Speedy Bandouliere. The next bag, and another bag that I will cherish, is my Montsouris Moyen Model backpack. This is a vintage piece and my very first pre-loved piece. I guess going into Louis Vuitton, I knew that I wanted to get a Montsouris backpack. I've seen these around and I've researched them. I know that they were made in the 90s and was discontinued in the early 2000s. So I knew that if I wanted to get it, I needed to get it from the pre-loved market. I scouted, Fashion File, Yugi's Closet, Portero, The Real, a lot of those more well-known consignment stores, but I could not find one within the price bracket that I was looking for and in the condition that it was in. So I looked to eBay and I found a private seller who was selling this gorgeous backpack in the size that I wanted, and look at the gorgeous patina. It is just so even and well taken care of. Being my first pre-loved piece, I was basically anal about making sure it was authentic, asking all the questions, asking for a billion photos, and the seller was very accommodating with that. She replied every question that I had, and it was just a very pleasant transaction. So very happy with this piece. Of course, I had it authenticated on the purse forum like 3 times. I absolutely love it, and this little bag here is the one that has got me hooked onto buying from the pre-loved market. Just having such a good experience buying pre-loved, I knew that it was definitely an avenue that I wanted to continue buying from. So yeah, the next bag I wanted to show you guys is my Neverfull. This is the Neverfull GM in Monogram in the old design. So this is another pre-loved piece that I purchased. Short story, I actually bought the Neverfull brand new in the Damier Ebene size in the GM model from the online Louis Vuitton website. When I received it, however, it just really didn't speak to me. I wanted the GM size, but because of the stiffness of the treated leather associated with the Damier Ebene model, it just felt really cumbersome. And also they've changed the interior design. Previously it had the fleur de lis lining there, how you can see there's some flowers. They also don't have the cursive lettering that you can see there anymore. So when I received it, I wasn't really happy. I didn't really like the interior, and the little pochette didn't really make too much of a difference for me, so I quickly returned it. And the good thing with Louis Vuitton is they have a great returns policy, especially when purchasing online, and I knew that I wanted to go the pre-loved route to get the discontinued version, which is the one that I have now. I love this size. A lot of people, when they're buying their Neverfull, they never know whether to go for the GM or the MM. I think just pick whatever works best for you. I do have an MM that I'll show you in just a little while, but for me, I'm 5 foot and I think that I can get away with this either open, but I also love being able to cinch this up like this to make it smaller. So it really depends on what kind of things you carry. Going with the MM or GM, it really doesn't matter. I think you can pull off any bag, any size that you are. So yeah, this is my Neverfull GM in Monogram in the discontinued version. After I bought my Neverfull, I was still kind of obsessing over, the Damier Ebene, and at this point I didn't have any Damier Ebene bags, so I was browsing through the pre-loved market, as I usually do that every now and then. This little number came up and it was going for quite a good price, so I put a bid in and I won and yeah, I have it in my collection. It's just the classic Speedy because I knew I wanted to have a classic Speedy in my collection. So this does not come with the straps or the bandouliers on the side. I absolutely love it. There's just something about the classic Speedy that really that I absolutely adore, and I actually got this bag hot stamped at the Louis Vuitton store. With all my pre-loved pieces, I do authenticate it beforehand, but nevertheless I did take this to the Louis Vuitton store to get hot stamped, and in a way that is almost like getting a piece authenticated at the LV boutique, because they do inspect the bags, and if they don't believe it to be authentic, they won't actually hot stamp the bag. So that's just a little tip if you guys aren't 100% sure, that's what you can do. And certainly getting the pieces repaired will definitely be a definitive way of knowing, because when they send it to the factory in France, if it's not authentic, they will return it and tell you that they cannot repair the piece. So this is the classic Speedy in Damier Ebene. Following that, there was a rumor going around on the purse forum and on YouTube that Louis Vuitton was going to have a price increase, which is normal for Louis Vuitton. I remember when I first was looking at their website, the Speedy was actually going for $700, and that was about 5 years ago. So it has almost doubled in price since then. I did actually want to get a work bag as a way of treating myself for completing quite a difficult clinical rotation, and trust me, it was hell. It was I had gone through nights where I was crying. It was quite hard. So I wanted to reward myself for being able to push through, and I was looking at the Speedy 25. I wasn't sure initially, but it was the perfect print for work, and the size 25 was also the perfect size for a crossbody bag. So I went ahead and made the purchase online from Louis Vuitton, and when I received it, I was absolutely in love with it, and it just never went back. So this is my work bag. I have a video showing you guys what's in it at the moment, and it's still filled with stuff, so I can link that down below. But it is just a great little bag. It is my rainy day bag just because of the Damier Ebene treated leather. It's perfect. Next bag that I purchased was this Louis Vuitton Favorite MM. Basically a clutch slash small crossbody bag. So it comes with this little chain detail so that you can actually wear it as a shoulder bag like this, or you could wear it as a clutch by hiding the chain like this, or you could wear it as a shoulder bag or crossbody bag, and then also have the chain hanging. I got this because I thought it would make as a great clutch and also a great, crossbody bag. I use it more as a clutch now that I have quite a few other crossbody bags to use, and it does come with a magnetic strap. This is the bigger size rather than the PM size. Next bag that I wanted to show you guys is my Eva Clutch. Oh, absolutely fell in love with this design. I got it while I was in Melbourne. This just comes with a strap, so you can wear it as a crossbody. This strap is actually very long, so I did get it repaired at Louis Vuitton, and I got them to shorten the strap for me. That did cost $40, so just for anyone wondering, but it is possible for someone who's quite short to be able to wear the Eva Clutch. I also love this to use as a clutch, and I do think that the Damier Ebene is just so beautiful in the Eva Clutch, just because it also comes with the gorgeous plate there, and it just steps it up and makes it quite more elegant. So this is one of my special occasion clutches. Even though it is canvas, it really does just ooze elegance for me. And you can also step it down by wearing it quite casually with boyfriend jeans and wearing it as a crossbody bag. So love this. Next bag that I want to share with you is probably one of my favorites. At this point I was very much addicted to Louis Vuitton, like hook, line and sinker addicted. So Louis Vuitton initially started as a luggage company and specialized in, travel goods. I knew for me, I wanted a luggage piece just to get a bit of that history from the company and the brand. So I wanted to get a Keepall. That was one of my holy grail items, and for me, buying a Keepall, I knew I wanted to get it pre-loved because I wanted it to already have a gorgeous honey patina to the vachetta. Secondly, I wanted it to be a size 45 bandouliere in monogram, and thirdly, if I could, I wanted it to be vintage, so not within like the past 10 years vintage. I mean like in the 80s, 90s vintage, when Louis Vuitton was, you know, on top of their game, where the quality was just the highest that it could possibly be. Obviously, having such, you know, specific things in mind, it's not that easy to actually come by such a piece. And when I found this little number that ticked all the boxes, I knew that I had to buy it straight away. So I present to you my Keepall 45 Bandouliere. And this is well vintage, as you can see by the very deep colored. It's basically a caramel color on the vachetta here, and this is a bag from July 1984, so well over 30 years old, and the age is shown on the vachetta. So I guess when I was researching Keepalls and Louis Vuitton, I found out that Louis Vuitton actually changed their stamping from the small F to the large F, and I guess having a piece with the small F signifies when the canvas was just the thickest, the quality was meticulous, and you know, obviously this is a 30-year-old bag and it is still in perfectly working condition. When I received it, it was a little bit dirty, so I did clean it up pretty well with Love in My Bags, and I guess in a way I think that dried out the leather a little bit, because it is cracking in some areas, but it is still in fantastic condition. Because it is a vintage piece, some things are a little bit different compared to the newer models. So I actually had this piece authenticated 3 times. Once on the purse forum, by a third-party authenticator where you actually pay for them to authenticate it, and lastly I brought it to the Louis Vuitton store to get it hot stamped and have it inspected. I am so happy with this piece. Every time I look at it, it inspires me to just travel all the time. I have to admit, it's not the most comfortable piece to travel with, but you gotta make sacrifices sometimes, so I love this bag. I mean, come on, it's 30 years old. How awesome is that? 30 years old and is looking amazing. So the next bag I want to show you guys is another one of my favorites, and it is the Speedy Bandouliere 25. Now this is a piece that basically I couldn't get out of my mind. After I got the Bandouliere size 25 in Damier Ebene, I knew that I wanted it in monogram as well. But after watching Jerusha from Jerusha Couture and watching Lovely Pepper from Lovely Pepper Blogs, I was obsessed with the size 25. I didn't want it brand new because I could not deal with having brand new vachetta again. So I wanted it to have an even patina, and then I didn't want to pay basically close to or the same amount as a brand new one. Speedy Bandouliere 25s don't actually come up on the pre-loved market very often. So when I found this in the condition that it was in and for the price that it was selling for, I knew that I had to get it, and I couldn't be happier with it. As you can see, the patina is a gorgeous even color. I did clean it up a little bit with Love in My Bags just to remove the stains under the handle, which you can get from obviously holding it as a top handle. It's a really cute crossbody bag. You can see the difference in sizes here. For me, I love this size 30 just as a top handle bag, but when I was using it as a crossbody bag, it just was a little bit too big and cumbersome for my size, and I'm 5 foot, so I knew that I wanted to get the size 25 as a dedicated crossbody bag. But I love both sizes, and I don't think I could get rid of my size 30 just because it has sentimental value. Following this, I got the Pochette Metis. This bag has been highly hyped about on YouTube, on Instagram, and for me, when I saw Elle Ferguson from They All Hate Us wear it, I knew I had to have it. It's just such a cute little piece. It looks like a trunk with the lock at the front there. So I bought this little piece for my 26th birthday, and initially I was a little bit hesitant on it. While I love the overall aesthetics of it, I wasn't 100% sure about the accordion style gussets on the side and the price point that it was selling for. But my boyfriend was there with me, and he knew how long I was obsessing over this bag, and he basically told me to just get it and keep it. So I'm so happy that he was definitive in making that decision, because sometimes I can be a little bit indecisive. I have not regretted making this purchase or having this in my collection, and no matter of fact, it quickly becoming one of my favorite pieces. So that is the Pichette Matisse, and absolutely love it. So I bought that a little bit earlier than my actual birthday, and when my actual birthday came, this little number came up. I have actually been browsing the pre-love market for a Noe in Epi Noir since I was buying Louis Vuitton, just because my go-to bags are actually black bucket bags. When I saw this resonated with my usual style. The Noe is a very classic bag, and having it in epi leather is just a great twist on a classic piece. The Noe is actually probably the second oldest bag that Louis Vuitton came out with. This is an all leather bag. It's a vintage piece from 1994. It comes with the gold hardware that I've actually polished, so it's nice and shiny now. They do still sell the epi leather for the Noe, but it comes with the silver hardware, and I just feel like the gold brass hardware just looks so much better with the black. If you're considering purchasing the Noe, I highly recommend you look on the pre-love market, just because they are selling for such an affordable price point. You know, even if you're buying the monogram, it looks so much better with the patina, and the canvas back in the days are so much thicker. So I strongly suggest you consider buying pre-owned if you're actually looking at getting a Noe bag. That's just my thoughts. Obviously you can buy whatever you want, but that's what I would recommend. It's nearly 3. I nearly have to go to work. Okay, moving on. The next little number that I actually purchased is this Montsouris Grand model, so GM size. It is obviously the bigger daddy of the medium Montsouris. There are some slight differences, including the web shoulder straps. When I had the medium size, it was great as a statement piece, but for a backpack that you actually want to have a functional purpose, so outdoors or to carry books, to carry laptops, etc., I knew that the GM was a perfect size, and because the straps would be quite comfortable. But on the pre-love market, they're actually selling at quite a very high price point. But as I was browsing one day, I saw this model on the listing. You could tell that the vachetta was dirty. There was stains here and there, especially at the bottom, had a lot of dirt and staining. Everything else was fine, so the canvas had no cracks, there was no rips or tears or anything like that. So for the price point that it was selling for, I figured I will go ahead and buy this because it just seemed like a great project piece or a piece to refurbish, and thought, you know, if I didn't manage to clean up the vachetta at the bottom, I could always take it into Louis Vuitton and get them to replace it. And even with the replacing the vachetta, for the amount that I paid for, it would have still worked out. So I went ahead and took the plunge, and when I got it, I gave the bottom a good scrub with the magic eraser and conditioned it with Loving My Bags, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It does look aged and a little bit worn in, but I actually like that because it gives, you know, it's a backpack. I want it to look a little bit rugged. So I love this bag. It's so comfy, and it's such a cute backpack. I actually really like this, and I enjoy wearing it when I can. Nearly done, you guys. The next bag I want to show you is the Neverfull MM in Damier Ebene. I kind of knew I wanted to get this in the MM as soon as I ordered the GM size. I wasn't in any particular rush, but when I saw this listing on eBay from a private seller in the condition that it was in, I knew I had to get it, and I managed to get it for quite a good price because the leather straps are a little bit worn in, and my intention before receiving the bag was to actually get this replaced. So I got a discount knowing that, and when I received it, I was actually pleasantly surprised because the straps, it's actually not in bad condition, and I feel like it can still last me a few years before I have to replace it. So everything else about it is perfect. The canvas is in perfect condition, and of course it is the old discontinued model, so it's got the gorgeous cursive writing and the fleur-de-lis lining that you can see there. So very happy with this purchase, and I just love the fact that you can see the red interior of this bag. It is so cute. And finally, I wanted to share with you my most recent acquisition is this Noe BB in Damier Azur. This is my one and only Damier Azur print. I was never really interested in Damier Azur until very recently, coming into spring and summer, and I just absolutely fell in love when I saw pictures of the Damier Azur against the patina of the Pochette and it just looks so gorgeous. I tried on the Noe BB in stores and I fell in love, and I knew that this was going to be my Damier Azur piece. I actually had the intention of purchasing this online just because with Damier Azur it's very hard to maintain, so buying it on the pre-loved market can be a little bit dodgy. Sometimes people don't take very good pictures of the canvas and you can have stains here and there. I thought that buying brand new was a better way to go. However, I saw this on a pretty well-known consignment store. They said it was in near new condition. Initially I thought for the amount that it was selling for I was saving hundreds of dollars, and if it was in the stated condition that it was in, I figured it'd be worth a try, and if it wasn't quite up to par with what I expected I could always return it because they had a 14-day return policy. But as soon as I received it, I absolutely fell in love, and the Pochette was quite light still, so for the amount that I saved it was absolutely worth it. I have to admit though, I've already kind of had some color transfer on this, so Damier Azur is definitely a very difficult print to maintain, and I wouldn't recommend it as your first Louis Vuitton piece. But it is such a beautiful canvas that I could not resist, and I'm looking to get another Neverfull in this print. So this is my final bag that I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, if you guys want a review on any of the bags that I showed you in this video, please let me know, comment down below. I'm absolutely in love with everything that I have at the moment, and I just get excited to wear it, to use it, and that is what it's all about really. I don't want it to just sit there. I actually want to use these pieces. Again, I don't mean it to be a bragging video, and I don't want to influence you guys to think that you need all of these pieces. I certainly don't, but it is something that I choose to invest my money in, and I do say invest because I have actually sold a pre-owned bag before and I was able to sell it for the same price that I bought it, so they do retain their value, so I'm very happy about that, and that is mainly the reason why I stick to Louis Vuitton. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's probably become quite lengthy. This was a video that you guys requested, so hence I'm doing it. I love Louis Vuitton. If you do too, let me know down below, and if you have your own Louis Vuitton collection, definitely send me the link, or direct me to your video. I'd love to watch it. What is your favorite bags that I own, or what is your favorite bag that you own? Do let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thumbs up this video if you love handbags or Louis Vuitton or luxury brand goods in general, and if you're gonna thumbs down, get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for your support and for letting me share my handbags with you guys. Had a lot of fun filming this. Hopefully there are no glitches again. That is it for now. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.